Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back to Canon for the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yeah, we are back in full effect. My battery levels are like 50%. It's been a long day, but we're going to get over this. We're going to get in this. We're going to get under it. We've got some Bukayo Saka celebratory news. Celebratory news. Congratulations news. We might be talking about Thomas Partey. And David Silva speaks about who he thinks is going to be good enough to actually beat Man City to the Premier League title. We're going to get into this one on the other side of this music intro. Yes, indeed. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome back again to Canon Fodder TV, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this one. What's today? It's Wednesday. Today's Wednesday. Oh my goodness. I think was it Monday, Tuesday? No, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday today. It's been a long day actually. A short week, but a long day. But anyway, I am expecting my brother. Who knows with my brother Ralph? Who knows? Actually, you can probably see that I've got myself to the left. My brother, I'm on top of my brother's behind the screen there. But let's just wait and see if he joins. We're going to be talking about. We're going to talk Thomas Partey. We're definitely going to be talking about David Silva, who believes something about Man City and Arsenal, and some Bukayo Saka celebratory news. But you know what? Just click the like button. Click the like button. Don't worry about subscribing. Don't worry about subscribing. We're not taking any more subscribers. Just the likes. The likes are like gold dust for our community over here. Right. So without further ado's, let's get into the news segments of today. So first up, David Silva, a former Spanish international and a multiple Premier League winner with Man City, has given his opinion about the Premier League. Now, David Silva says that Arsenal are the only Premier League title challengers to Man City. City, have an amazing team with some amazing players. Silva told the Mirror, this is Pep's 8th season at City. I can't believe eight seasons. The first year he was getting used to the Premier League, but now they are almost unstoppable. Arsenal are the only team I can see who maybe have a chance to challenge in City. The rest, I don't think they can. I watched nearly all City's games at the Champions League last season. I couldn't win it when I was there, but I'm also so happy for the club that they were finally able to do it. Does he not won the Premier League? Anyway, they deserve it. They deserve it. The club deserves it. The supporters deserve to win the Premier League, Champions League, and FA Cup, the treble. It was an amazing achievement. So I've got to check that. He's never won the Premier League with Man City. I find that hard to believe. Is that true? I've got to check that one out. Those of you watching now, come back with some stats. Has not David Silva won the Premier League? Anyway, I need to check that one out. I've got to check that one. I don't believe that. They've probably got their stats wrong there. All right, and the next news segment, kind of tasty one. And actually, I don't believe this one, but we'll talk about it anyway. Now, who is it? This one says that Ramsdale is sweating over his position as Arsenal's number one goalkeeper, with Mikel Arteta weighing up handing David Raya a prolonged first-team chance after impressing in training. The Arsenal goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale is under increasing pressure to keep his position as number one goalkeeper, with David Raya in line for a run in the first team. Now, the Mail Sport understands that the Gunners coach, Mikel Arteta, is given serious consideration to giving Raya a loan arrival from Brentford a prolonged first-team opportunity in the coming weeks. I don't believe this at all. I just believe that it's the Mail just trying to stoke up some problems and falsifying information. However, there is a growing feeling at the Emirates that Arteta wants to give Raya an opportunity to stake his claim for a regular starting role in the team. It remains to be seen when Arteta decides to make a change in goal. It seems rubbish. But Raya is said to have a deeply impressed in training since his arrival, particularly with his ability to accurately play out from defence. If he doesn't play before, Raya's first opportunity could arrive in a Carabao Cup against his former club on the 27th of September, of course, against Brentford. Again, I don't believe this at all. Really? Sweating over his position? I don't think so. I don't think so. Again, the Mel sport, just trying to stoke up the fan base. It hasn't worked with me. Hasn't worked. And the last news segment, some celebratory messages going to Bukayo Saka and salutations. Happy birthday to Bukayo Saka, who's no longer the star boy. The star man, last 2 weeks, hasn't had the best of last two games, but it's his birthday. It's his birthday. And, good luck to him. I know I'm very late down on this one, but Bukayo Saka, Arsenal winger, named England's Men's Player of the Year for the second successive year. Yes, the Arsenal winger who turned 22 yesterday came top of the supporters' vote to retain the award. He won back last season. Midfielder Jude Bellingham was second in the ballot, with England captain and all-time top scorer Harry Kane third. Now, Saka has scored 7 England goals in 10 caps over the past year, including the first career hat-trick in a 7-0 win over North Macedonia at Old Trafford. He netted 3 times for the Three Lions in the 2022 Qatar World Cup, scoring twice in 6-2 opening group stage over Iran, and once in a 3-0 win over the last 16 against Senegal. Saka, who was also named as the PF Young Player of the Year for his club form last season, has 11 England goals in 28 caps. That's not bad, actually. And he's, again, among England's boss, Gareth Southgate's squad for Saturday's European Championship qualifier against Ukraine in Wroclaw, and Tuesday's friendly with Scotland in Glasgow. And congratulations to Bukayo Saka, and happy birthday. Yeah, well done, fella. And you know what? These and those have been the news segments currently running on this show over here on Canon Fodder TV. So what I need to do, I need to go onto the X platform. X marks the spot. I don't know why the guy called it X. I'm just used to calling it Twitter. Anyway, there are no retweets as far as I can see. As far as the eye can see. It's all right. And now I need to go to the platform. Now, the poll question that we have done, or we've been doing, is in regards to Thomas Partey. And we're going to be talking about this come Friday. Friday, the Easy Talk is back. The flagship live show. I'm not saying the flagship just because I host it. I mean, I host a lot of stuff on the channel, but the flagship live show been going for, I think next year will be its 5th birthday, because I didn't start doing that live show in the first year. I think 5 years will be, next year will be 5 years of me doing the Easy Talk. Anyway, let's not go there, getting all nostalgic. So the poll question this time was, will you miss Thomas Partey? Because now we hear that it's going to be out for 6 weeks. Are we going to miss him? Are you going to miss him? I won't miss him, but we will be talking about him on the Easy Talk this coming Friday, 7:30 p.m. UK time. So we have received a whopping 1,000 votes, 5 comments. I'm not responding to 1 comment there, and 32 likes. I'm liking it. So again, the question is, will you miss Thomas Partey? Will you miss Thomas Partey? Well, 17% of the votes say no, they will not be missing Thomas Partey. And 83%, Alex doesn't need to look down, actually I just did, say that they will miss, or you will miss Thomas Partey. I won't be missing him. All right, okay. Okay, and I believe that is that. There are no live comments in the live chat, which is completely okay. And in the end, my brother didn't join me. Typical, which means, I rushed home from work. I can have something to eat and just end it there. Just any more notices I need to give everybody? Okay, yeah, no. Let me just quickly double check something. Okay. Right. So what I can say is on the Easy Talk this Friday, we are going to have a new face. It's not the face that I was hoping for. I thought, just keep that in the pack, keep it in the hole. But a couple of people have let me down. They've not gotten back to me. But we like to have new faces on the channel and kind of grow, our pool of contributors. But expect to see some familiar faces, but one new face that will feature on the Easy Talk come this Friday. Oh my goodness, am I excited? Yeah, of course I am. Another new face. Right. Okay, so there has been one comment from Tygonosaurus. Tygonosaurus, thank you for your message. And you say, good evening, Alex. Good evening, Alex. Are there any questions you want to ask me before I wrap up this live show, Tygonosaurus? And I hope your children are okay. All right, so whilst we're waiting for him to comment on that. Okay, here's a question for me. Question for you. How comes Tomiyasu and Zini were playing on the right side of midfield when we were attacking against Man United? Does this not leave the left back exposed? So let me see. On the right side of midfield when we were attacking. No, I don't think it. I don't think it did. I think if you remember what Apollo was saying on the Monday Back Five podcast, that for the whole game, Ben Wright for some reason was letting Rashford have all that space. I'm thinking, well, why? You've got your manager there who loves to bark out orders. So I don't think necessarily it left the right side exposed. I just think, the defense, needs to be a little bit more disciplined. But I don't necessarily agree with that, to be honest. William Moyes, good evening to you. Good evening, mate. A long time, actually, long time no speak. Keep on the good work coming, you guys. Thank you for that, my friend. Willie, I hope you are well, and I hope your family are good as well. Any more questions or comments or observations? Your guess is as good as mine. I just don't understand why, you see a Fabio Vieira, and don't get me wrong, I can see that for the last two games he's impacted coming off from the bench, but on the right hand side, and I don't want to be talking about or undermining, talking about our number 29. You know who I'm talking about, but I personally, to take off the heat from him, the number 29, just put Emil Smith Rowe in there. He knows the systems. He knows what the manager wants. Whereas our number 29 still is trying to work things out. So whilst we're trying to work things out, we need to get the points on the board. We need to win our matches home and away, use the Emirates as our fortress. But I'm just thinking, just to take the heat off our number 29, why not put Emil Smith Rowe in there? I mean, we were told again by Apollo that he will play. And personally, I would like to see an Emil Smith Rowe play ahead of our number 29. But that is just me. Our Trossard and Vieira impact players off the bench and should not start. For now, if we are going to play Trossard, it will have to be as competition for Martin Odegaard on the left. As an out-and-out striker, Trossard, not so much. But as an impact player, I can see the rewards of using those players, much like Fabio Vieira, as impact players. When you're hoping that the 11 that you've started will get the job done. If they don't, then the manager should be wise enough to make the substitution in time, in good time. But why not have impact players like a Leon Trossard or like a Fabio Vieira or like a Eddie Nketiah or Gabriel Jesus? What about that? Question to you. I mean, Gabriel Jesus, when he's come off the bench, he's impacted, hasn't he? So what about Gabriel Jesus? Start Eddie Nketiah, start Martinelli, start Bukayo Saka, start Odegaard, start our number 29. I I mean, Declan Rice, there's no question marks over him. The guy has just hit the ground running. But what about Gabriel Jesus as an impact player coming off the bench? Think about that, actually. Denzo, good evening. Says, how are you doing, sir? I am fine, thank you. Don't need to call me sir. Just call me Alex or Mr. Cannon. What's your thoughts on green screen? I'm talking as a content creator. Oh, bro. Send me an email. The email is in the description box, so we can probably talk about that. I'm just trying to deal with Arsenal questions. But yeah, if you really want kind of guidance and help about that, send me an email and I'll speak to you about that. Trigonosaurus says, who's the best for you, Raya or Ramsdale? Well, the funny thing is, all this talk about before he came to Arsenal, I was thinking, when I look at the stats, I think they're quite evenly balanced. Oops. They're evenly balanced. Look, across 38 games, goals conceded, Ramsdale's conceded 3 less. Has had more clean sheets. I mean, Raya's save percentage is higher. Passing accuracy, Ramsdale. So I'm thinking, I want to start a debate about, the number one and the number twos and number ones and who should we have 2 number ones and what's going on. And I think for me, like all the players, it's good to have competition. I don't fall for this stuff about, well, if the goalkeeper makes a mistake, he's probably thinking, oh, I've made a mistake, the number 2 is going to come in, or the number 1 is going to come in. It's good to have competition. And Mikel Arteta, he would know which goalkeeper should play. But, that news segment I read there from the Mail on Sport, saying that Ramsdale is kind of concerned for his position. He hasn't said that. He said that bring it on. When I came to other clubs, I did the same thing. I deposed the number 1, and I was a number 1. So no, Ramsdale is a professional. And if you're asking the question, who would I prefer? I would have to see David Raya play in the goal for Arsenal and just see. I mean, I see him doing the drills at London Cody, and okay, but can he do it when he's under pressure? That's what I want to see. Who starts next game for you, Eddie or Jesus? For me, it has to be Eddie. And I asked that question last week. So, when you're looking about, the player, Gabriel Jesus, has been out injured, does he have to earn his position back? Or is he an automatic selection for the 11, for the first 11? For me, no. No, Eddie Nketiah has done a really good job. Is it 2 goals in 4 games now? And remember, he earned the penalty for us, didn't he, against Crystal Palace? So he's done a really good job. So for me, it's Eddie Nketiah. What about for you? What about for you? Yeah, just send me an email and I will talk to you there. We'll exchange emails on that. Would you sell Partey in the summer? Yes, I would. With his constant injuries, again, he's injured before the Man U. Sell him. Someone said in the live chat yesterday, it seems like now Thomas Partey is yesterday's man. He is. And again, we're going to be talking about Thomas Partey in depth come the Easter talk of this Friday. But sell him, I would sell him. I would sell him. What's your thoughts on Edu's selling ability? Is it his fault we have bad players before he was technical director that no one wants? No, but you look at about our sellability skills. When you talk about Nicolas Pepe, and Rob Holding, ridiculous. But of course, you can't hold somebody accountable for something that happened before they came in that position there. So I don't hold him accountable. I hold him accountable from the point when he started as technical director and he got the promotion, didn't he? Got the promotion. Yeah. But it's a problem, isn't it? We've got to change our philosophy when we're buying players and when we're selling players, and also utilizing the academy. I've said that so many times. I don't want to go on about that. Glenwyn, hey, brother. I hope you're well. Eddie, a start until he gets dropped. For me too. Play him. I agree with you, Eddie, and Fabio Vieira. A must start in the next game against Everton. Absolutely. There's no reason to not. I'm not even going to talk about the number 29. I'll leave it to you guys to talk about. All right. What's that? Should we get someone else to sell players? I think it's right time. There was a woman who was part of the Chelsea setup. I think she has since left. I think who did all the stuff there. The transfers, dealings, the incomings and the outgoings, and she did a relatively good job. But I think she has now left. But I think it's right time. Now, Vinay Venkasham, Edu. I'm sorry, that's right, Edu. Richard Garlick, they've got to go. They have to go. Tired. Edu will struggle to sell the players he has brought in. But what about we don't have any more players that are still there before he came. Yeah. Marinda something. I'll do my homework, man. I'll do my homework. Yeah. I just know what I was told by James Roy that she's done a really good job over there. But I think she has since left the position. So yes, let's have a look here. So my brother's just trying to come in, just as we're going to be ending up the show. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. Ralph, I can't hear you. It says that your signal is quite weak. Suarez, Cedric Suarez, did Edu bring him? Yes, he was there. Initially gave him a 4-year deal. I'm thinking, what? 4 years, just like that? Do you think Edu picked any of the players we got in the summer, or was it all Arteta? Oh, no, I believe it was 50-50 because, if you've not seen the interview that Edu did when he spoke about Unai Emery, and he said that for Unai Emery, to him, there was no clear plan. There's no plan there. And and that's why one of the parts why they sacked him. But with Mikel Arteta, he said like he understood. They came together and they realized, this was the plan there. So I think it was, one half of Mikel Arteta and one half of Edu, because they have this great working relationship. Yeah, that's what I believe anyway. My brother, meanwhile, is still trying to come in. Ralph, we can't see you. So that is already the sign that he can't sell his own signings. Goodness. Well, selling them on for a reasonable price. I don't know, man. I don't know. Ralph, we can't see you. We can't see you, Ralph. There he is. We're in that top.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you and we can see you.
Sorry, I literally the last quarter of an hour I've been fighting the internet.
Oh really?
Excuse me.
Oh right, okay. Apologies for that, man.
Yeah, it's weird.
Apologies.
It's weird. I'm not sure if it's there's a connection problem in the house, so I had to go downstairs and try and reboot everything. So
did you reboot the Wi-Fi?
Anywho,
message.
Sorry.
Did you reboot the Wi-Fi to get a stronger?
Yeah, I did all that.
Okay.
Heat affected.
All right. Okay.
Sounds a bit. You sound a bit low. Sorry.
I sound a bit low.
Yeah, it's probably just me.
Right, let me put my
I'm sure it's me.
Glenwood says Mikel Arteta and Edu collaborating to buy players. Yeah. I don't believe one would not consult the other. So yeah.
Can you hear me still? No, that's something I miss.
Hello.
Alex, can you hear me and see me?
Yeah, I can. I had some problems with the Wi-Fi over here actually.
It's not just me then. Not just me. Jeez.
Oh, dearie me, man. Anyway, where were we? So let's go through this comment. So Alex, he can't negotiate a decent loan, so not even sure he can sell at the right price, let alone. So we're just talking about buying, recruiting, and then selling players, Ralph.
Right, okay.
And then who else do we have here? I'm so annoyed with the 1 million Rob Holding deal. That was ridiculous. Yeah, Rob Holding now gone to Crystal Palace.
Yeah, he's gonna do well. He's gonna do well.
Yeah.
I'm gutted that we let him go for such it's an insulting fee.
Yeah.
It's a real insult. So I'm not pleased about that at all.
Yeah. Tagan says, I would love to just be a fly on the wall at the club. I don't think you'd want to be a fly on the wall.
No.
Would you have kept Holding as cover as we brought no one in and Timber was injured? Yes and yes.
Yes.
So would you have kept Rob Holding, Ralph?
Yeah. The thing is, I think the only thing that's gone against him is he's like an old school, like, centre back, isn't he? He's old school centre back, and there was a couple of key games. I mean, one key game that stuck out for me was when we went to them down the road, and he got suckered by Song, and he got himself sent off. There was 2 fouls he committed, and he got himself sent off. But then the other times, like, when he held was it Costa's
Diego
in
Costa.
the FA Cup, and
Yeah.
and who else? There was another significant bit of defending that he did as well. He's just one of those guys that went for the big games. He kind of knows how to handle it. Like, one out of every 3 games, he probably has a bit of a wobble, but most defenders have a bit of a wobble. I mean, not wanting to pull people out, but last season, Saliba and Gabriel both had resulted in goals against us, but then they managed to put the mistake behind them and then push forward. So Rob Holding is just an old school centre back.
Yeah. There's a question for you here, Ralph. Ralph, what's your thoughts on our different formations?
You see, I'm not a kind of like statistician or tactical guy. I'm I suppose, old school 4-4-2. But to me, if your defense is sound, if your goalkeeper defense is sound, and your midfield is clicking and they know each other, then sometimes you can just about get away with 1 or 2 anomalies. What I mean by that is, if you've got a guy up front and he doesn't bang the goals away, like, I mean, Haaland is on his own. But if you look at Salah, I'm trying to think who else would, along those lines. You see, to me, I'm struggling to find out, the main guy up front. They can do what they can do because they've got a solid defense. They've got a solid midfield. Man City, when we play against them in the Charity Shield, I don't think we played the full strength Man City. We may seem to have handled them a little bit. Our game went to penalties and we got the 50-50 on that one. But to me, it's key games. It is during the Premiership. What happens if we was to draw them in a Champions League fixture? You have to get these players' mindset in the right place. When you like I said before, you can't be going experimenting during key matches. But then maybe the kind of what's what I'm looking for? I suppose the thing is that you have to experiment at some points because there's always going to be something that's going to crop up. There's always going to be a situation that you didn't anticipate, and then you are in real time, I suppose, experimental mode. And if it comes off, then brilliant. I was shouting for Arteta to do some subs on Sunday, and he pulled out the right subs at the right time. So that's knowing your team and knowing that the kind of the kind of strategy that you want to implement, they implement it. But that comes with time and it comes with patience. And sometimes us Arsenal fans, we're not patient. I'll put my hand up. I'm thinking, hang on now. You Havertz. I know he seems to be a bit of a touch subject at the moment of time, but I just want to just use that as an example. To me, if you are a German international and you played in the Premiership, you should be Premiership ready. But the flip side of it is, if you're low in confidence, if you know that the pressure's on you because you have to perform, and the margin of error can be so slight that it looks as if you're not doing anything, then it impacts you more on your confidence. Now, the manager has backed him to put him through. So he's put into a kind of like formation or a strategy that he may not be familiar with, or he is, but we don't see it. We've only got Arsenal glasses on. Sometimes we don't have the knowledge of James or even the guys in the back five on your program acts. You know what I mean? So for me, it works when it works. When it doesn't work, we're quite quick to criticize. But like I said, I'm not a strategy. I just know in my heart of hearts that I feel like we can do better. Like I said, on Sunday, some of the passing, I think improved a little bit better than against Fulham. And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, why aren't we consistent? Why is it that we allow teams to attack us? And we don't have our fluidity in passing? These are the things that I see. And point to me, why are you trying to fit square players into round pegs? Kind of like throws my mind in a kind of like verbal assault on the manager. Excuse me. So yeah, I think you're going to need someone like James or even the guys in the back five who probably can go into more analysis than myself. I'm totally honest. But when I do the watch along, I try do my level best to keep up with what is going on. But I do get caught in the emotion of a missed pass, or sometimes you can sense that the player is not on it. That to me, that's my kind of like I suppose go to. As it were.
Okay. Something else here for you, Ralph, from Glenwood. It says, Raz, you say that. I told a guy today the exact same thing. And what make it so good for him? Roy is an old school manager, a good marriage, between Rob Holding and the manager Roy Hodgson. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, but this is the thing. You remember what I said to you, Alex, a while ago that Pep Guardiola is like that kid who's got all the Panini cards. He knows which one to let go and he knows which one to keep. And I think that Roy would bring the best out in Rob because what he would do, he knows where to place him, and he's got all that years of experience behind him as well. So he knows he's going to be a really good addition. The thing with Arteta, and I put this up, I said that Arteta is a manager in training, and he's gathering more experience when it comes to those moments when we said like, hang on now, he should be subbing now. Why isn't he playing this player? Why is he not putting Trossard on? What's going on? We're trying to get into his head, but that's from our perspective. His perspective is, look, I know what I'm doing, and I have to make sure that the players know what needs to be done. But when they cross that white line, I can't. You can see him on the touch line. He's up and down in his box because he's shouting them, he's whistling them, he's telling them what to do. Some other managers are not like that. Some managers just wait and see what happens, and then they'll say something. He's very on hand, maybe micromanaging. If that's a good thing or a bad thing, to me, I think he's like a player. He's still playing the game, even though the player's on the pitch. That's what I think he is. So that's a good definition really between the two managers.
Okay. Tide says, how did we get the mindset of players like Pepe and Cedric in Arsenal? Surely they want to play football anywhere when you are told you have no future at the club. But it's down again to recruitment, isn't it? Down to recruitment. I mean, I think Richard Garlick is now the guy who deals with recruitment hand in hand with Edu. But it's down to the people who do the recruitment, isn't it? Sure, they're looking at a particular profile of a player that doesn't necessarily fit with the profile that the club needs to go to the next stage. But it's down to the recruitment, isn't it, Richard Garlick?
I'm gonna big up someone here, but it's work related. I'll just say her name Jackie because I saw her yesterday, and I said she's my manager. My manager Jackie got me to where I'm working, and she said to me that there's one department I started off in, and it wasn't working out for me. It was. She said, Ralph, you've got all the attributes and the characteristics of a really good worker, but where you've been employed is not the right environment. So she placed me somewhere else to learn most of the basics and the fundamentals, and then I got into another position on her recommendation, and I've been there ever since. And the reason I picked up is because managers like her, regardless of if it's sports or if it's work or whatever, they know when they see a person that has all the skills, but it takes a manager to identify where their strengths and weaknesses lie. And I think with Arteta, he is. I wouldn't say it's almost his way or no way. I think he does generally try, but the difference between him and Arsene Wenger pretty much knew what he wanted his team, but he inherited quite a few players that know what to do. Arteta has got an idea, and he's done some coaching and everything else. He's seen what Pepper's done, and he's trying to bring some of those ideas into the Arsenal. And in most cases, it's kind of worked. It's just the next level. So when you come in with a Pepe, and the Pepe came with a big, huge amount on his back, and we was thinking, right, this is the player that we want. If you remember, as we was outside the Emirates when the news came in, and we were sort of saying, Pepe, we want Pepe, and all of a sudden, it wasn't, all that glitters wasn't gold, and he did need to work, and you can see his confidence was shot as well. But is that because of the manager previous, or is that because of the expectation of the fans, or is it because that the selection process was thinking more about the fee than the player? All those little kind of like connecting parts summed up the whole kind of situation with Pepe. And now look at him, and the same with Cedric. Cedric was like kind of a good player, but I don't think he was enough of a good player for us. He did it in fits and spurts, but there you are. This is what happens now. They have to be offloaded. They have to go somewhere else. And you know what? They'll probably become better for the experience and become better players.
Okay. Glenn goes on to say, Ralph, I believe that Mikel Arteta has built a dome around Kai Havertz for exactly that, protection. And that's right. There, Mikel Arteta is getting the experience, and that there is down to our number 2, and then a volley of a comment. I don't think that Richard Garlick has the correct approach when it comes to convincing Edu and Mikel Arteta to provide the tools to these guys to make informed decisions. Right. So just to kind of take it back a little bit, Ralph, we've just been at the beginning of the show before you joined. We were speaking about David Silva. David Silva, he thinks that the only team that can challenge Man City for the Premier League is Arsenal. He said that that City have an amazing team with some amazing players. This is Pep's 8th season at Man City. 8 years. The first year he was getting used to the Premier League, but now they're almost unstoppable. Arsenal are the only team I can see who maybe have a chance of challenging City. The rest, I don't think they can. I watched nearly all of City's games in the Champions League last season. I couldn't win it when I was there, but I'm so happy for the club that they were finally able to do it. They deserved it. The club deserved it. The supporters deserved to win the Premier League, Champions League, the FA Cup, the treble. It was an amazing achievement. So I think you know the question, Ralph. Do you believe that Arsenal are the only team that can challenge Arsenal in the Premier League, Ralph?
Well, I think Silva has just been really kind of inflammatory.
Yeah.
It's just inflammatory. You know what it is. It's we're on the top. We'll call out the person to make our lives a bit easier. That's what it is. So let's throw Arsenal under the bus, so to speak. So yeah, Arsenal's the only team because going by last season. But we all know that when you say that, I said this before. You got your Liverpool, you got Chelsea, you got Newcastle, right? You got potentially them down the road. looking at them down the road because they seem to be pulling out a few results as well, and they're trying to keep themselves under the radar. So we have to watch out for them as well. You've got your West Hams, right? And then you've got everybody else just below that. I should put Liverpool in there, of course, as well. But this is what you do. When you're top, when you've done it all, you can pull out any team that you want to say, this is the team that's going to challenge us. Because you want to make sure that that team has to fight harder. It's like I don't know. I suppose like Royal Rumble, when there's only 3 of you left and you're trying to chuck out one of them in the ring. You use one of them to batter the other guy, right? And then because you know that the other guy is going to be weakened. You know what I mean? After he's fought off about 30 wrestlers. So you know the big guy, or you know Triple H or whoever it is, bigger in their time, and you've got a small guy who could be, if you remember from way back, someone like Catweasel or Big Mac Malice or someone in there, and then that's it. That is it. You know what I mean? So I think any player worth their salt would, especially in the Arsenal, would just brush it aside. Let them, let Man City do the talking. Let them do all the talking, because of course they've done it. Let them do the talking, but as always, as we say, make your do your talking on the pitch and make the results count.
Yeah, but let's have a quick look before we end this show here at the table as it stands. So of course, Man City at the top of the tree, then we're down the road second, Liverpool third, West Ham fourth, Arsenal fifth, Brighton Hove Albion and Crystal Palace sixth and seventh place respectively. So that is that. Before we go, again, want to big up Bukayo Saka, and it was his birthday yesterday. No longer star boy, star man. I'm not so sure. He hasn't had the last 2 games. Hasn't had the best performances, and like we said on the podcast, the Back 5 podcast, nobody talks about him when he doesn't have a good game. We tend to point the finger at the easier targets like our number 29, Kai Havertz, and all the other players there. But when it comes to the star boy, Ralph, people are a little.
I said, I'm sure I said during the watch along that he had a chance that he should have put away. I'm pretty certain I said something like that, and under the gaze, under the microscope, or I suppose the magnifying glass. Yeah, he's done really well for last season, but that's last season. You know what I mean? You scratch off and start again, and you can't go by your past endeavors purely because it makes, if the manager thinks or even has the inclination to try and give his favourites an easy ride, it will make the whole thing more detrimental to the player and to the team as a whole. So sometimes we have to call it out. We have to say, you know what? Actually, the last 3 matches, he made a mistake that led to a goal, and he had to, in the end, get the penalty to put it away to rectify that mistake. But he hasn't really shone as brightly as that trophy has got for the Young Player of the Year award. So he needs to start applying himself. But again, he's in the England team, and hopefully, coming back from that, touch wood, I wouldn't have really wanted him to play against Everton.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, what he needs, Rob, he needs competition, and he probably needs a rest as well.
He needs a rest and he needs competition. Yeah.
Just one more bit of news. Not so much news, but you notice I put Thomas Partey on the right-hand side of the screen as our right back, inverted
tactical.
right back. Tactical. Yeah, we know he's going to be out for up to 6 weeks. So we have done a poll, Ralph, on the platform. The poll is: will you miss Thomas Partey? Will you miss him? Choose only one, yes or no. We have received over 1,000 votes. There's been 5 comments and 35 likes. 17% of the votes say they will not miss Thomas Partey for those 6 weeks, and 83% say that they will miss Thomas Partey. I know where I'm voting.
So you miss him?
I wouldn't miss him. I mean, this is in my lifetime, and I used to go out partying, but this particular party, I won't bother missing Ralph. All right. Anything you want to say, Ralph, before we wrap this one up?
No, just apologies for like getting in late. I'm sorting stuff out, and it seems to be taking a lot longer. But hopefully, for the next set of watch-alongs, I'll be available and interrupted or delayed, continuous. Because I always when I've seen Ashley D, my wingman, on a few occasions, and says, I see his goal straight across, and I'm still about a minute or two. So I'm trying to like build up the anticipation, but then Colin's saying, Ralph, come on now, you got to say something because we've seen it, and it's the second after we started. So yeah, to those guys, thank you very much. But yeah, let's see what happens during the internationals, and hopefully we come back and we start climbing up that ladder, because like I said, them down the road, they're looking a bit tested. They are. I haven't seen Chelsea at the moment. Liverpool is steadying themselves. I'm not sure about Man United. I mean, obviously they're not there at the moment, but yeah, them down the road, Liverpool, West Ham. I think maybe Brighton Brighton and Crystal Palace may fall away a little bit. Man City will continue, because let's put a spin back on Silva. No one seems to be touching Man City at this moment in time. Bernardo Silva, like it says Arsenal. Well, Man City, no one seems to be wanting to take on Man City and beat them home or away at this moment. So let's see what who's going to pick that mantra up.
Yeah. So there you have it. The evening show with both my brother and myself, rather belatedly, made his way onto the live show. But I will not be back doing any content tomorrow. I'm going to give myself a little bit of a break, but I will be back for the flagship show on the channel. No, it's not the watch along. The watch along is not the flagship. It's the Easy Talk. I'm sorry, Ralph.
No, that's good. It's good. I want to see who you're gonna have for the Easy Talk. I won't be able to make. I'm late. But it'd be good to see the Easy Talk.
We're gonna have John the Geezer Gooner.
Fantastic.
We're gonna have Alfie the Cheeky Chappy, and we're gonna have a newbie as well. So guys, you're gonna have to tune in for that. 7:30 p.m. UK time. The Easy Talk is making its return. It's been a long while actually.
It's been too long. It's been too long. Well, season just started.
There he goes.
Season just started. Let's settle down a little bit.
Yeah, all right, okay.
Let's
make the watch along the flagship shows on the channel, shall we? Anyway, Ralph, thanks for joining me, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
I shall see everyone the next time on Friday for the Easy Talk. Until then, this has been Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world.